Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Plant Sumo podcast. Today with Isabel, who is our resident video editor and brand management advisor. So, hey Isabel.
Hello. Hi everyone. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to handle everything. We're about to launch soon. So it's really exciting. Really exciting stuff is coming out.
Yeah, exactly. For people who are listening, obviously they hear like brand management. It's a very sort of elusive term. Like, what specifically have you been up to in launching the
Mhm.
business?
So right now we're trying to find specific clients, businesses, small businesses that are around the area that we're based, and different people that would be interested and that they would like our product. So I'm kind of making like an Instagram client list to say in a
Ooh.
way. So yeah, really exciting, really. It's something that you would have never thought about when you think about a company launching. You never think that people actually do this. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to have this insight of like, oh, they actually do that. So I think that that's one of the coolest things about the podcast, that they get to know what each one of us is doing with
Yeah.
our amazing
Exactly.
host, and also like, and to also like see how the journey is going.
Yeah, exactly. I
Mhm.
think in today's like social media climate, in regards to advertising, Instagram is such a huge platform, and especially there's so many people on there who I interviewed someone yesterday who's like a big like vegan athlete and stuff,
Mhm.
and he has a huge platform on Instagram, and just getting that message out there, you really need to engage with these influencers and people like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's insane how like all the marketing, advertisement, and everything has changed so much. Like now,
Mm.
if a company doesn't have social media, they won't last. Like it's impossible.
They don't exist, you
It,
know.
it doesn't it doesn't happen. Like even the smallest business, like I think that even corner shops are getting on Instagram. Like it's just you need to be on Instagram, otherwise people won't find you anymore. It's and even more like companies like ours that are delivery services that are something else that it's also now getting even more common.
Yeah,
It's like you really need social media.
yeah, just to get your message out there. And I
Mhm.
think what you said about delivery companies becoming so much more common, and we're obviously kind of riding in on that wave that coronavirus has created, where
Mhm.
and actually more people are staying in, they're not going out, and you want to experiment with what you're eating and what you're trying, and that's what we're all about, like offering a service where it doesn't matter what you eat normally, you
Mhm.
can experiment with our food and come to your own conclusions about what you like and what you don't like.
Exactly. Yeah, like just try it out. You never know. And also the cool thing with like services like ours is that you how do I say it? Like it's a cheaper way and it's an easier way to get that habit happening, because it's not the same going like, oh, let me go and try out this vegan restaurant on my street. Because
Let
you
me
go there,
Waitrose.
yeah, you go there, you get something, and you don't actually enjoy it, and it's only, or if you actually enjoy it, it will be just once in a every just once like every too many months. So you
Mm.
will never actually make that habit, because I don't know, at least for me, I always thought like, oh, making vegan food, that like making plant-based food, that sounds so hard. Like
Mm.
it's impossible to make, like how, because we don't think about it, but like most of the food that we eat is already plant based. But because
Yeah,
we have that
exactly.
stigma that like, oh, plant based is hard, plant based is like all of this, you you don't say that you're plant based, you don't say that you eat these foods, but then when you think about it, like most of your meals are plant based.
Yeah, and that's true going back for like most of human history. Like obviously we've always eaten meat, but
Mm-hmm.
even in hunter-gatherer societies, the vast majority of what people ate was plant-based food, but they didn't label it in that sort of way.
Exactly.
But what you said as well about services like ours, like making the whole thing not just cheaper but easier, I think is really important, because so much of what people worry about when it comes to food and cooking and enjoying food is the prep, right? You
Yeah.
come to the end of a busy day and you can't be like effed, going in the kitchen and,
Mm-hmm.
scrapping up a huge, like, big meal for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And again, people have those ideas about plant-based food that, oh, it's so much more difficult to find recipes, to find things you're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true, but that kind of mental barrier,
Yes,
exactly, yeah, keeps
exactly.
people from trying it,
Mm-hmm. And like young people like us, or maybe even families, now everyone is working, everyone is doing so much. Like you don't have time to actually cook, or like if you want to cook, like you have to make the time for it. And most people don't want to. So
Yeah.
this is like a way of branching out and to eat healthier, because I feel like at least for students, I'm a student, so many of us we just end up eating just frozen meals, or
Yeah.
like or just pizza every single day, and that's not healthy and that's not really good for your health. So
Yeah, like I literally say to myself, like every night I'm gonna cook a meal from scratch, and it just it comes to the night, and I'm like, where's my ready meal? I'm just looking in my fridge, like,
or just
where
like
is it?
eating toast for 5 days straight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing though. It's just having that ease of access to certain types of
Mhm.
food. And I think the thing is with services like ours as well, is just when you have this platform, it's not even just the product, but
Yeah.
having a platform where you're discussing all these new recipes and
Hmm.
ways of eating and enjoying vegan food. Like so
Hmm.
many people are just like, oh wow, I thought it was all just, beans or like bowls of vegetables or like the same old stuff day
Hmm.
after day. But there's so
Yeah.
much variety. It's crazy.
Yes. Yes, and it's also like creates a sense of community with the whole brand, because we have the podcast, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have everything. You can find us everywhere. So it's
Yeah.
like you have
You
the
can't get away from us.
no, don't even think about it. So like you can it's like a sense of community, because like our brand is everywhere, and we're so easy to adapt ourselves to your life. So it's so easy to get Plant Sumo into your life. So it is like that easy step into that healthy lifestyle that you have always wanted to do. Because like
Yeah.
I feel like during lockdown, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to do my
Yeah.
body transformation." But then when you got to the point of it, you were like, "Oh no, having to cook salad again. Oh no, salad, salad, salad." Because when you think about plant-based and like healthy food, you just think about salad. I don't know why we
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
mindset that it has to be this like very sad lettuce and tomatoes and onion salad, and it's not like that. It can be there can be like many other salad options, and like so many other healthy options that we are offering with our meal plan. Like it's so much fun, and also I feel like the most fun about it is that every time that you open the box is like Christmas again, like, oh, let me see what I'm going to eat this week. you know
Yeah, I mean, I went to the kitchens recently actually, and I
yeah.
got to see some of the stuff they were prepping. And one of the meals we're going to offer is like this sort of like vegan meatball thing, and it literally
Mm.
looks like an actual plate of like meatballs and spaghetti. And I
Ooh.
first saw that, and I was like, "This is a vegan kitchen. I don't think that should be in here." But then I was like, oh my God, this is chickpeas. And I tried it, and it was like so close to the real thing. And I think that's
Yeah.
it. Like, no one likes the idea they're eating animals. People eat it for the
Mhm.
flavor. So if you have like food that rivals meat and is even better than meat in terms of flavor, like why wouldn't you try it and experiment more with it?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's just like, I feel like most of it is just fear, that people are
Mm,
just scared of like branching out and doing like, but then when you notice it, you can make plant-based most of the food that you actually eat you
yeah.
normally. So I think that it's kind of like breaking the stigma, getting out of your comfort zone, and just branching out, and we just make it easier for you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do, and that's what we've been doing since the start, because this has been quite like a quick but intense journey for all of us, I think. Like we've
We're
all been
so
doing
motivated
yeah.
that we get it done we're getting it done so fast, because we just want this to get out. I don't know, it's just like this project is so amazing that we just want it to be out as soon as possible. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
whole
'Cause
thing.
just weeks of really intense like work and stuff. And a huge part of our whole sort of campaign has been what we've been doing on YouTube. And I know obviously now you're more involved with like the branding side, but I do know when we started off, you started off with a lot of the YouTube stuff. So
Yes.
how did you find that?
So we have the pre-launching series on YouTube. I believe that will be out as soon as everything goes out. And I feel like that's one of the most interesting bits about this company, like how we're giving all the behind the scenes of what we're doing. So it has been, it's literally like from episode 1 to, I think that now we're about in maybe episode 15 or something like that, seeing all the journey from the market research up to being in the kitchen. It's insane seeing all that process and being able to participate in that. It's also, it makes you feel so, because when you see like big companies and everything, you're like, oh, I would have loved to be in that process of the making, and like how did they do it? Because always when like these documentaries about like get big companies come out, everyone is like, oh my gosh, they did it like that, they came out of like this place and like they did all of this from that. So with this pre-launching series, it's like we're showing it, so then maybe one day when we make it big, people can look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think with so many companies who do have that whole like polished persona, right? Where you don't see any of the sort of like inner details and challenges and even like, failures and stuff of how they became like big. It gives people such an unrealistic idea of success and what it's like creating a business, because so much of it is literally just messing about, like long nights spent in the kitchen or on your laptop, like just
Yes.
trying to figure how to like piece everything together and coming up with ideas that don't really work a lot of the time.
And I think that with this is like you have to look at the branding and also the recipes, because you can't have like a full-on amazing branding and exposure but then your food not being that nice. So like you have to have these two things, and with the branding is like trying to find all the things that other people in the market are lacking, and you have to, and if you think about it, oh, they might be lacking it because it must be really hard to do it. So then you have to think about how can we get that done. So that's really hard as well. And then with the meals, we're making the menus, like making brownies from scratch, when like most of the people in our team, they're starting on this journey as well.
Yeah, we're not like cooks.
So I mean, we have a chef. So
yeah, I mean, to clarify,
you're not getting like food poisoning. No, don't worry. But it's like Deepak started this company because he wanted to find that alternative of like getting plant-based food so like he could start the journey. So like all of us are getting on that journey as well. So it's just like trying to find that balance of how to do it without like, and trying to get it done without having too much experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, all that stuff that you said about like, obviously it has to be tasty and delicious food, but it has to be offering something different, right? And I think with us, we just have such like a sheer amount of diversity in terms of like the meals, and like we offer like snacks and desserts and all these sorts of things. But it's combined obviously with like an ethos and a sense of like, we're not, we're not here judging you for what you eat,
Exactly.
we're not like political in our vision. You might have those reasons for the choices that you make, and that's absolutely fine, but we're open to anyone trying our food, like anyone.
Exactly. I think that that's the best thing about us, if you want me to be honest, because we don't want to be like, oh, that's not vegan, that's vegan. Oh, you're eating this, you're a rubbish person. No, this is about making that change in your life and to become healthier, to like feel more energized, to feel better with yourself. So, and we know that to get that, that's a balance. It cannot be a change that goes from like one day to the other. It has to be like a slow change, and it cannot be something too radical. So I feel like the cool thing about us is that we're helping them to make that change without being a radical change, because you're still eating the things that you have always eaten in your life, but now it has that little twist of health into it.
Yeah, like I think what you said there about like health and wellness and stuff like that, like not just thinking it about in terms of like, oh, I'm eating a healthy diet, right? But I'm improving my health in general
Exactly.
is the right attitude to have, because I've said this before with Noah on the trial run I did, but what you eat is literally so important to like your mental health and just the functioning of your body and your brain, that you should care about it. But at the same time, you should care about it in a way where like if you're going to make any changes, they are gentle and they're gradual, because your body
Exactly.
needs time to adjust to a diet like veganism, because it
Yeah,
is a big change, you know?
exactly. And also the fact that you want to make that change, you want to make that focus, but you don't want it to be the main thing in your life. Because most
Yeah.
of us have this we have to focus on our careers, on our family. And if most times when you want to make that change, that ends up being the main thing in your life. So I feel like with this, you're like, I'm doing this change, but it's not something that I have to give all my focus on, and it's not something that will take on to my entire life. I can
Yeah.
still be the person that I've always been, and I can still do the same things that I've always done. Just do that little change, and you will see so many results after it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's literally delivered to your door, you know? Like, it's just so easy to integrate that with the rest of your life, because,
Mm-hmm.
like, people, the thing is with like a big dietary change or just keeping up any sort of diet, like just healthy cooking for yourself
Yes.
and trying to do that every day of the week, is just life throws so many curveballs at everyone, and you just start having so many commitments and responsibilities, and they pile up. And obviously
Exactly.
food's important, but it's not always going to be your number one commitment, so you
Mhm.
do need something that is sustainable and sometimes is like pretty easy, which is a great thing that we offer at Plant Sumo. So promo moment, love it.
The
I'm just
mug.
yeah. Oh my god, you've got the same glass. I love it.
I added a straw this week.
We love a sustainable person. I love the metal straw. Like
We're saving the
sheaving up there.
turtles.
Well, thank you so much, Isabel. That was amazing. I really appreciated talking to you about this and all these issues and what you do at the company. And I'm really excited for the launch. I think things are really like heating up now, and it should be interesting
Yes.
how things
Like,
go. Yeah.
we're so close. So
Mm,
thank you so much for inviting me on the podcast. I loved my time here, and
thank you.
yeah, looking forward the next episode and seeing how everything goes.
Bye, everyone.